In the Scottish Highlands, a boy named Jimmy is watching TV with his sisters and cousins. Everything feels normal until suddenly a loud siren starts ringing outside. Their aunt panics, quickly closing the door and ordering the kids not to move. The children freeze in fear as the sounds of chaos echo all around the house. Jimmy, confused, runs to the door and calls out for his father. But before he can get an answer, the door begins to shake violently. Suddenly, the front door bursts open, zombie-like creatures known as the infected storm inside. They attack mercilessly, dragging the girls down and devouring them while Jimmy hides behind the door. By sheer luck, they don't notice him. Jimmy takes this chance to escape, but on his way out, he witnesses something even more horrifying: his own mother being eaten alive in another room. With no other choice, he runs through the house, watching in despair as all of his relatives slowly transform into infected. He barely manages to escape outside, where even more creatures roam the land. Jimmy dashes toward the local church, desperate to find his father. But when he arrives, he doesn't find salvation. The priest calmly tells Jimmy that the infected aren't a curse, they're the chosen ones of Judgment Day. He hands Jimmy a gold cross and urges him to have faith. Moments later, the infected burst through the stained glass windows. Jimmy runs, but his father refuses to escape. He stays behind, allowing the monsters to bite and transform him. This chaos is the result of the Rage Virus, a disease that quickly consumed the UK while the rest of Europe managed to contain it. Cut off from the world, Britain becomes a wasteland where only the strongest can survive. 28 years later, humanity clings to survival. On Lindisfarne Island, a small community has built a safe haven, separated from the mainland by a tidal causeway. This is where we meet Spike, a young boy about to face his first true test of survival. His father, Jamie, prepares breakfast, but their routine is interrupted by his sick wife, Isla, who suffers from memory loss and confusion. When she hears that Spike will be trained to kill today, she panics, but Jamie insists it's necessary. Soon, Spike sets out with his father. The townspeople cheer for him as they leave the gates, but they also remind him of the rule. Anyone who leaves is allowed to return, but no one will risk their life to rescue those who don't come back. Together, Jamie and Spike cross the tidal causeway into the dangerous mainland. Along the way, Jamie shares stories of the world before the outbreak, stories Spike can hardly believe. In the forest, they encounter their first infected. Spike trembles with fear, but with Jamie's guidance, he manages to shoot it with his bow, killing it cleanly. More monsters arrive, but father and son fight side by side. At one point, Spike begs his father to let an infected go, proving he still struggles with the morality of killing. The deeper they go, the more horrors they encounter. They find a man who was captured and tortured before turning, left tied upside down with carvings on his back. When the creature breaks free, Spike kills it in a panic. Later, they stumble across a brutal scene: a half-eaten animal, its head and spine pinned to a tree. Jamie recognizes this as the work of an alpha infected, a stronger and smarter variant. Moments later, they find themselves face to face with a horde led by the alpha. A desperate chase begins through the forest. Jamie trains Spike even while running, teaching him to aim for the heart and head. Eventually, they hide in the attic of an abandoned house, where Jamie explains just how dangerous alphas are. At night, Spike dreams of his sick mother drowning, only to be awakened by the house itself collapsing. They barely escape and flee toward the causeway, but the alpha finds them. A tense chase unfolds as Spike stumbles in the rising tide. Jamie signals the guards with a whistle, and together the townspeople rain arrows, one even set on fire, bringing the alpha down long enough for the duo to escape. Back on the island, the community celebrates Spike's first kill, lifting him on a chair and letting him drink. But Spike is disturbed by how easily everyone celebrates death. Sneaking away, he discovers something even worse. His father, Jamie, is having an affair. Heartbroken, Spike confronts him later, demanding answers about a mysterious man named Dr. Kelson, who Jamie insists is insane. Their argument ends with Jamie slapping his son, only to regret it instantly. Angry and desperate to help his ailing mother, Spike takes matters into his own hands. He sets a barn on fire to distract the villagers, then escapes with Isla across the causeway. She struggles, often calling out for Jamie, but Spike convinces her that a doctor will save her. Their journey is perilous. They fight off infected in abandoned houses, stumble into ambushes, and nearly die inside a gas station explosion. They are eventually saved by Eric, a soldier fleeing from battle. He joins them, though Spike quickly realizes he can't always be trusted. At one point, Isla bonds with a pregnant infected, even helping her give birth. But Eric kills the mother and tries to kill the baby too, only to be dragged away and decapitated by an alpha. Spike and Isla escape with the baby in tow, only to finally meet the infamous Dr. Kelson. Kelson is eccentric, covering himself in iodine and surrounding himself with a shrine of bones. But he's not insane. He's a survivor who studies the infected. He reveals that Isla isn't sick from the virus. She has terminal cancer. Tearfully, Isla asks him for mercy, leaving Spike devastated. After her death, Spike places her skull at the top of Kelson's bone tower, carrying on her memory. Soon after, the alpha named Samson attacks. In a brutal fight, Spike injects the monster with a sedative, saving Kelson's life. With nothing left for him at the island, Spike takes the baby back to the gates, naming her Isla after his mother. He leaves a letter explaining everything before disappearing into the mainland. 28 days later, Spike is no longer the scared boy we first met. He's hardened, hunting infected with ease. When a group of monsters surrounds him, he fights bravely until someone else joins the battle. It's Jimmy, all grown up, still wearing his father's cross. He leads a team of survivors who laugh and cheer as they slaughter the infected. Impressed by Spike's skill, Jimmy tells him they should be friends. The world is still dangerous, but for Spike, this is only the beginning of a much larger story. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next one. Thanks for watching!